Well, Wendy Bill here, and I'm going to talk about recovery equipment and the ways to hook things up, ways not to hook them up, also on what to buy and what not to buy. Okay, can anybody tell me what's wrong with this? This would work if I wasn't really stuck and all I had to do was just a gentle pull to get me out. No hard yanks of any type, no kinetic energy, no long term. I see this done a lot though. So we'll go over the list of problems. Alright, first off, we have a keeper top shackle. Looks good. And it may be good, but we don't know. Second thing is we have it hooked through the hole in the front bumper where a shackle belongs. A hard shackle. And I'll show you why. This hole has sharp edges. It's not rounded. All the way through, sharp edges, both sides. And basically what you'll end up doing is cutting your shackle. Second thing is can anybody tell me what the rating is on this shackle? Anybody know what the rating is? Do we know where it was made? You know, looks like the same rope. Looks the same. But look how sloppy this braid is on this when you loosen it. You don't know. Second thing is, it does not have this tag. I don't care what type of shackle you're using, but this shackle, 7/16 by 10 inches, minimum breaking strength is 45,500 pounds. It's got a tag. It's, you know, it's sewn on. It's good. It's going to last. Rubberized. Serial number Y23-03-023. Very important because now, let's say this one is from Yankum Rope. I know Yankum Rope has tags on all theirs. I know Factor 55 also has tags. So, the biggest thing here is, where is this thing made? Well, we all know that everything from Yankum is made in the United States. Everything is tagged. United States. And Yankum is interesting because they can even go further. Guys, I needed to buy a dog leash. So when I'm exploring areas and I have a dog with me, so I bought me a dog leash from Yankum Rope. This is a dog winch line. You have to hold your dog, get him back. This dog winch line is a 3/8 by 5 foot, minimum breaking street, 500 pups. Yeah. They even tag their leashes. It's kind of funny. Yeah, they make these out of the same line. This is the same 3/8 line that they have on their winches. And this one is centered, looped, and pulled through, and it goes all the way down. This one that goes inside goes all the way down to here. So you got a good 10 inches there. On the opposite end, you've got the hook, and it goes all the way through up to here, a good 6 inches. So they take pride in their work. And that's why I like buying their stuff and using it. Now the proper way to hook up a tow rope to this vehicle, to the front, we talk about labels. Okay, we have a 7/8 by 30 foot Yankum kinetic rope made by Yankum. It's got a pin number. It's got a serial number. Very important. Made in the USA. Now let me throw a little kicker in there. I know a lot of people watching this is going to be from California. And California is a state that can be a nightmare. And that's because they have not only OSHA, they have Cal OSHA. So let's say that you're out in your work truck and you pull up and one of your workers is stuck and you pull out your off-brand shackle, you pull out your off-brand yank rope, and you hook up to his vehicle and you give it a good tug and the soft shackle breaks. The yank rope springs back, hits the windshield of the truck he was trying to pull out, sends the guy to the hospital. Well, it'd be a workers' comp claim. And it would also be a Cal OSHA notification. And the first thing they're going to want to look at is where's the certification. Okay, this is what I have on the back of my vehicle all the time. The reason you see me again loosening it, I like my shackle, I like to keep them. Okay, here we go. This is one way to hook up a soft shackle. Only, and I'm going to rephrase that, only if your receiver hitch part is designed to be done this way. This one is not. This one is designed to be used with a hard shackle. Again, this has sharp edges. Not razor sharp, but they're just a square cut edge. If you get a receiver hitch that is designed for a soft shackle, this will have a large rounded radius all the way around. And those are good, and those are great for soft shackles. If you use it with a hard shackle, believe it or not, it will reduce the rating of the hard shackle slightly, because the idea here is when this pin goes through and it's being yanked on, it's got this whole flat surface, not just a 1/4 inch in the middle of the bolt, but the whole surface to hook onto. If you use it like with a soft shackle one, they say you can, and yes you can, but you're not going to get your rating. All right, now here we go. I see people do this. They'll won't hook up this way. What they'll do is I'll have this. And then they'll throw a soft shackle on. Then they'll hook the soft shackle up to this. Okay, yes, this will work. But my question is, why would you want to complicate matters and add another point that could fail in an accident? When you're rigging, there's ways to rig. And yes, there is times where you'd want to maybe use that, but like 90% of the time, this will work perfect. And then again, of course, screw it in. You don't need to always use a wrench on them, but make sure they're tight. That gives you your best working strength. And the advantage of this here is type of shackle is if you've got to pull off to the side slightly, it'll fit, it'll swivel, so you always got full contact. But always try to pull in the straightest angle that you can. This is not going to fall off, come disconnected, break. If it does break, that means you got to break something really heavy. Again, use all American-made stuff. American-made shackles, American-made receivers, American-made pins. And the reason I say American-made, go on the videos and watch how they make a lot of stuff in other countries. Now, Japan makes very quality stuff. China, they're steps below. But there's a lot of other countries out there supplying products to this world that are made on a dirty concrete floor of a bombed out building. At least that's what the building looks like. Using ancient equipment, all being operated by 8 to 10-year-old kids. People think, oh, that's child labor. Well, yeah. In most of your other countries, that's how they make everything. That's how they make it cheap. Would you trust your life on an 8-year-old braiding your recovery rope or your soft shackle outside in the weather? It's just not worth it. So this is a good setup here. Now I am not set up with this bumper yet for a double bridle hitch. Yeah, you could hook here, but that ain't all that strong. You know, you throw your soft shackle around that, and if you don't break your soft shackle, go bend it. This has already been bent once. I had a safety chain bind up on me. And if you're using somebody else's, make sure they got the pin, make sure they got the other pin, the clip in it when you use it. And also make sure that, take a look at the receiver hitch. Make sure it's bolted down to the frame. I've seen receiver hitches where the only place it was bolted is with 4 bolts here, 3/8" bolts to the back bumper. What's going to happen, one good hard yank, and you're going to rip that right off the back bumper, bend the back bumper, and possibly end up with that through your windshield right at you. So always beware. Check your hitch, receiver. It's your responsibility if you're doing the yanking to make sure you get something good. And if all else fails, you can use the frame to hook onto. You can use the axles to hook onto. I don't recommend the axles except for a soft pull, only because you can recover the axle and leave the vehicle sitting on newer vehicles sitting in the mud. Okay, now let's talk about mud. When you're doing mud, you don't want to do a lot of kinetic energy yanking on a vehicle stuck in mud, because mud creates a suction. Okay, so we covered hooking up the shackles, checking your rear mounting areas, your front mounting areas. Got the soft shackles, got the recovery rope. By the way, just so everybody know, I am not sponsored by Yankum Rope. I don't have any sponsors on this channel yet. I'd like to have some at some point. But sponsorship takes time. Okay, 2 other things I carry. I carry an ARB tree saver, and that works as a bridle right now until I can get an actual bridle. And then I've got a poison spider towing strap, yanking strap. Basically, the reason I got that strap and also the tree saver is when I was using my 2-wheel drive truck to do recoveries. That gave me a total length of 75 feet. Hook it all together. I know I couldn't make a hard kinetic run with that much, but if they were stuck in sand, light mud, dirt, all in a little ditch, we could get them out and keeping my 2-wheel drive truck on hard ground. So it all is important. You know, sometimes you don't want to get your vehicle that you know is not 4-wheel drive off into the mud. And even with 4-wheel drive, if they're in a lake or a river, you know, just I don't want to go in there if I don't have to. So it works. Now, we talk about other things. High lift jack. To use a high lift jack, I mean, they are one of your biggest recovery tools you can use. They are not a change a tire every day type jack. But if you know how to use them for recovery, they work great. You know, I can jack up my truck back here, my Bronco, from the back. Jack it all the way up. You know, get it all the way up in the air. And then come over here and give it a shove sideways. And it'll fall off the jack, which is what I want. But in the process of falling off the jack, the vehicle goes that way. Or the opposite way. Depends what side I push from. In doing so, if my tires are in a gully, I go up as high as I can go. I give it a shove. Now I'm sitting on the edge on firm ground, out of the gully. Jack it up again. Do it again. Now I've got myself both tires on hard ground out of the gully. Go to the front, do the same thing. And you can go back and forth several times and get yourself out of a gully. I crest over a hill and things are not like I want it to be, and I end up getting myself high-centered in the middle. All four tires just want to spin. Jack up the back. Again, jack it all the way up, full extension. And you can either stack stuff underneath the tires to on the high center, or just give it a, if you're jacking up the back, you'd give it a shove backwards. That way the jack rotates away from the car and rotates and falls off the jack. Now you're moved back a foot, foot and a half, 2 foot. Or you can jack up the front and push it forward and do the same thing. Now you're no longer high-centered. A shovel. Shovels are great for digging out. I have a Pulaski, which is an axe on one side, and a hoe on the other side, a grubbing hoe. I just use that to get unstuck undelayed. I hate using the word stuck. Last week when I was doing that mine. Great for pulling dirt out from in front of your tires, behind your tires, whatever. Works great. Shovel works great. You know, in my work truck, I always carried a garden hoe because I got stuck in the sand a lot, pushing it too far, pushing the envelope. And, you know, if you're stuck in the sand, you got your recovery boards, you got to dig out in front of the tires. That hoe will push more sand out quicker and with less energy than a shovel. And I loved it. I do have my recovery boards. These are ARB recovery boards. They are good boards. And they help me a lot. I've gotten unstuck with those several times with the truck. I see my kitty helper decided to come out for a minute. That's Fat Cat. She's one cool kitty. And I've gotten unstuck with that, my truck, several times. I carry it on here to help get other people unstuck, or when I just need that little extra traction. I haven't really found too much of a need for them yet. 4-way lug wrench. Again, recovery. Changes flat. My vehicle, somebody else's vehicle. You know, they got a spare, but no jack handle. Most people don't even know how to change a tire nowadays. Doing a little work on it today, re-gluing some weather stripping. So that pretty well covers response to, your problem when you get stuck or somebody else gets stuck. Oh, gloves. I know. Everybody harps, okay, you got to have gloves. You got to have gloves. Well, you should have gloves. I agree 100%. You should be wearing gloves when doing all this, but I don't use gloves all that much any other time. So, but I carry 2 pair just to be safe. Just got to know what you're doing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope everybody got a lot out of it. Excuse the looks of my property right here. This is everything for the landscaping company. I'm not doing the landscaping any longer. I went ahead and turned it over to my daughter and her husband, and they are now doing